Welcome to the Fat Fueled Family Podcast, where every week we talk about things like nutrition, training,
how to live a healthy and active lifestyle with your little ones, peaceful parenting, education,
and of course, mindset.
Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Keto Counterculture, at Fat Fueled Mom, and at Fat Fueled Kids, and search for Fat Fueled Family on YouTube.
To stay up to date with everything we're doing, sign up with your email at www.fatfueled.family and check out our blog for workouts, meal ideas, and all the other cool stuff we love to talk about.
Don't forget to hit subscribe.
All right, welcome to the Fat Fueled Family Podcast. We are joined by two very special guests, two people that are very special to us, really good friends of ours. We share weekends at Disney. We share lots of keto meals together. Our kids love each other. We love each other. We have Magean and Riley Rogers. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Hello.
We're really excited to talk to you guys because, you know, what we've been saying is that keto is not difficult and eating a low-carb lifestyle is not difficult. And we want to bring people like you that will kind of explain what your journey has been like and, you know, what the struggles have been, what the successes have been. So we're going to talk to Magean first, and then we're going to talk to Riley, and we're going to get the whole story and we'll see, you know, where it takes us. So
yeah. All right. It's so hard for me to not be like May. I call her Magean. It sounds so
we
like
have to
formal.
Be professional.
I got to be so professional. I don't have to be anything. It's my podcast. So.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So Magean, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background just with diet, with your hormones, your struggles, and, you know, kind of what it was like before keto?
Okay, so I think I was talking to Adam about this just today about, I think, the first time that ever in my life that you know how you can kind of trace back through your years and kind of pinpoint that first time that you really kind of struggled with self-image.
Yeah, definitely.
For people that don't relate to that, like, good for you, bro. That's not me.
Exactly. I know that's not me. I was on a diet very young. Yeah.
And I think I was telling Adam that I think I was like 10, the first time that I was like, oh man, like, I don't look the way that my friends look. I'm way short, like I'm only 5'2". So that's kind of always been, a struggle for me being short. And then I'm just, I think naturally a very curvy person. So I think I always knew that I was never going to be this rail of a person. But when your friends are all these teeny tiny things, that's kind of hard, especially as a, preteen teenager to accept. I danced for, 11 years, hip hop and ballet. And
I love how she says hip hop first. She's such a gangster.
For sure.
Hip hop, bro. I've always been really had a good foundation of muscle, but that never really translated well to the way I saw myself. So it's always been a struggle for me. I don't even think I really remember a time that it wasn't, like eating and food and dieting. And I had a really big issue. I think you don't want to place blame on people, but you can kind of source things like why you kind of had an issue.
You can explain it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my mom always used to be like, don't eat that, don't eat this, don't eat that. She would never directly talk about my weight or what I looked like, but it was always a focus on don't do this, maybe have this instead, which my personality, I don't respond well to authority.
This is why we're friends.
This is why we friends.
When people tell me what to do, it doesn't really go well. So
yeah, I get it.
For them at least, right?
For them. It doesn't go well for them. Yeah.
So, I, as a kid, that, translated as me like sneaking. I would sneak.
Logical.
A lot of
it's natural.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
Now, do you Do you think it would have been different if she would have explained why? If that would that have helped?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, yeah,
100%.
That's the thing that we always talk about is you talk to them about why, so they can really understand. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. I think transparency is key in cultivating a healthy relationship with food.
Absolutely.
And being able to understand the how, the why, the science behind it, especially, for, brains that really can wrap themselves around those aspects, like when you're older, when you're a preteen or a teenager, being able to understand those things. Yeah. I think that would have gone a long way in preventing a lot of my issues.
Right.
And
so tell me a little bit about like what your struggles, like what were the struggles with your hormones and stuff?
So we didn't discover this. So I have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is an endocrine disorder for those, that don't understand what that is. It's hormonal, weight gain. Your hormones are kind of backwards. More testosterone, not enough progesterone, acne. It's very, very easy to gain weight and very, very difficult to lose weight. It's associated with insulin resistance. A lot of women are pre-diabetic that have PCOS, infertility. So kind of runs the gamut on issues. And I was diagnosed with that when I was 22. So right before Adam and I got married.
Wow.
I was diagnosed with that. We found out that it most likely would be very difficult for us to conceive, to have a baby. So that kind of answered a lot of the questions I had growing up, like, why is it so hard for me to lose weight? Why is it so easy for me to gain weight? Like I could look at a cookie and,
I know.
Gain weight. Like it didn't matter what I did. It was always a struggle, always. So.
Awesome. All right. So what would you do? So when you were diagnosed with PCOS, what was like the treatment protocol that they suggested? What were the things that you tried to do to manage that, before you discovered keto?
So really early on, it was more of, well, you should lose weight. Like there was nothing. Yeah, it was helpful.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay. Like I haven't tried, right? Like,
thanks. I didn't know that. Oh gosh. So yeah, that was really helpful. You should lose weight. Cool. Thanks. And then it was, oh, well, it will most likely be very difficult for you to get pregnant. You can do X, Y, Z, get on metformin, go on hormone therapy.
So you were on metformin?
I never took metformin. No.
Okay.
No.
So walk us through now. We're just setting the stage because we have the PCOS, we have androgens out of whack, we have all the challenges that come with that, and of course no one's talking about diet at this point.
Yeah, they just tell you to lose weight. You're like, okay.
So walk us through what did your meals look like with you and Adam, and then of course when Riley came into the picture, what were you guys thinking about food? Was it just kind of, hey, we need to eat healthy? What does like home life look like for you guys with eating and all that?
Now?
Oh, before.
Before, yeah, before.
Pre-keto.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think this also traces back to my problem with authority. Lose weight, man. that makes me just like shut down. Like I'm like, screw you. Like obviously I know that I need to lose weight, so I just rebel against those types of things, which obviously is not a healthy coping mechanism.
Right.
Yay me.
But it's natural.
But it's natural.
So, I just kind of ate whatever I felt like. I mean, I knew I should be eating better. So it was, oh, I'll have some Greek yogurt, or I'll swap butter out for, whatever. Like, we were doing all the swaps, the low fat things. Of course, because, that's what you're told. Oh, don't eat as much fat. Eat, here, have some grains, have some oatmeal, which clearly that was like the 100% complete opposite of what my body needed. So yeah, I mean, and Adam just kind of followed suit. I mean, he, athlete all his life. He was a catcher throughout college. And, he's struggled forever too. Grew up not being the healthiest, not living in the healthiest environment with food. And so it's just really been, the first, 8 years of our marriage were rough because I was grumpy because I felt like garbage.
Yeah. It's hard to be happy when you feel bad about yourself. It's true. I know.
Yeah.
Our poor husbands have to deal with our annoyingness at all times. It ain't easy.
Mm-mm.
Awesome. So, all right. So tell me then about kind of like your keto journey, because you had like tried it at some point and then it didn't go well at first, and then you went back to it. So how did you learn about it? Like, how did you tell, like, those experiences were very different. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay. So I ended up going to see an endocrine a specialist and an endocrinologist for my PCOS. She suggested paleo.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And, to manage my PCOS. And so I ended up kind of looking into that a little bit. And then, really it was, you and Danny, you were like, oh, you should try this. Look at this article. And I was like, okay. So, so that was, I think, June of 2016.
Wow, that was quick. That was right when we started.
That was right when we started.
We were like,
yeah,
hey,
that makes
we're
sense.
starting. Hey, join us.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, I'm in.
Yeah.
I mean, for somebody who's done the yo-yos and done the ups and downs and lost 20 and then gained 30 and, it was really just, you should try this. And I was at the point where I was like, anything at this point, like, let's give it a go. Like, what else do you have to lose? Like, if it works, fantastic. If it doesn't, well, then you'll try again with something else,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I kind of went into it, or we went into it. And then, but it was really, I did not do my research. We tried it for like probably 6 weeks, and it was more along the lines of, oh, you can have 20 carbs. So there's 5 in this, popcorn, you can eat that popcorn, I had no idea really what went into it. And so that was a big fat fail. Sorry.
You probably had, you probably were dealing with cravings because, it's true. If you only look at it from a macro standpoint, you're eating this really high glycemic stuff, and then you're like, oh crap, I can't eat anymore. And you're not fat adapted. You're just like struggling.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The struggle was 100% real. Like struggle bus pulling in.
She's so awesome.
I love it.
It was rough for the first, that first 6 weeks. I was like, why isn't it working? Everybody says this is amazing. And, you guys were having such success with it. And, everything's always been a struggle for me. So I was like, well, this is just another one of those things that's going to be a struggle.
Right.
I just kind of chalked it up to that. And then we bought our house and we were moving, and I just let excuses kind of get in the way. And I think for probably August to November of 2016 there was no ketoing going on whatsoever. It was just like, oh, we bought a new house. I'm lazy. Let's just eat 6 packages of Oreos.
Yeah.
Yay! Yay, bad choices. And then November the 19th, 2016.
You're like Danny. She knows the date, man.
Yeah.
Got her
Got that
keto
date,
bursary.
Yep.
Yeah. I was like, okay, like screw this, seriously, because I was just, you get to that place where you're so freaking fed up with what you've allowed yourself to become.
Right.
Like the type of person you have allowed yourself to become, and then the example that you're setting for your child or your children. Like, it just comes to a point that it's just not okay. Like, that's not okay. What I was doing, what we were doing, the things that we were eating was 100% not okay. And so, yeah, week before Thanksgiving, I was like, you know what? We're doing it. And everybody's like, it's Thanksgiving. And I was like, like, if I can't get through a holiday, like, what hope do I have?
That's right.
So
don't wait.
That is so good.
I love that. Start now.
That is such a good lesson.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Because you could have gone through Thanksgiving, Christmas, and if I really try, man, in those 3 months, I can do some serious damage.
Dude,
if I let myself.
In 2 weeks.
In like a week, I can do some serious. Man.
Right?
So that's so awesome. Like, why wait? It's so true, like, why wait? And then, of course, that's great that, you had people, of course, why? The naysayers, but you're like, no, you don't let people tell you what to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like if you're serious, everybody can make every excuse in the book. I can still make all the excuses in every book, but if you're serious enough about what you want for your life and your the quality of your life, then those excuses shouldn't matter. Then you should care enough to just do it and bite the bullet.
I have something to say.
She can totally
say something.
I think you should do what you want. Don't let anybody tell you else. Don't let anybody else tell you what you to do. You follow your heart and do what you want.
Yeah, you're probably the wisest person in this conversation right now, Riley, because a lot of adults don't even know that.
8-year-old wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know what? That's a perfect segue. Let's turn it over to Riley, because Riley, I wanted to ask you, what were your thoughts when you first heard about this whole change in diet? What did you think? What do you remember?
Because it wasn't right away. Like, mom was doing keto first.
I thought it was actually kind of interesting to look at what she was doing.
So you
I was
were
like
curious?
the only one in my family actually eating stuff that wasn't keto.
Uh-huh.
I'm eating like a cookie, and mommy's eating like a burger with no bun and bacon.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, all stuff you like too. So it's like,
So you were a little bit like, hey, what's this all about? What did you ask her, and what did she tell you?
Yeah, what were the things you guys talked about?
Well, like a couple of weeks later, we were at Fresh Market. It was like a little bit before my birthday, and then I decided that I just wanted to be keto.
But why?
Yeah.
Well, one, because Desmond was it, and he's my friend,
That's
and I
true.
like that. Two, I love bacon.
She's like, I got this.
Yeah.
Bacon. Enough said.
And well, three, I just my whole family, like mommy and daddy are doing it, so why not me?
Okay, but what did mommy and daddy talk to you about? Like,
Yeah.
Why?
I don't have to. I can if I want to, and I don't have to. I can do it if I want.
Right, it was your choice.
Yes, it was my choice.
Very important.
And that's so important.
So I also wanted to be healthy and live a long, happy life.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
And so what do you remember about, like, well, you remember because you're older when when you started. So what were like the first few weeks like? Was it hard to transition? Was it easy? What was that like?
Here and there, I had a couple cravings if I saw people doing it, and I had a small stomach ache because I ate the food. It was hard to transition, but overall, I think it was pretty good.
Wow. So what do you think? Did it take long, or was it just like you kind of pretty much like one day to the next, you kind of just felt like, hey, this is pretty.
Took like maybe maybe like 3 or 4 weeks, so a couple weeks.
Okay.
Very nice. And when you started, you said it was right before your birthday, so it's kind of around when school starts, right? So tell me
like August, something like almost September, like the end of August.
So how was that like? Because, we all know that kids don't really have the best diets. And so I'm sure it was a little bit different going back to school and taking your lunch.
It is hard being like different because everybody else is like eating a cookie or like something else that's like not keto. And then I'm eating some tomatoes, like fruit and turkey roll-ups, and it's like, want this? I'm like, no. It is hard because most people keep asking me, are you allergic to sugar? Blah, 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 blah. Why are you keto? Like, they keep asking me over and over and over again. It's
And what do you tell them? What do you tell them?
I tell them I'm doing the healthier decision. It's hard to understand, and maybe next time.
That's a great thing to say, but you know what? People are watching and they're going to remember that, and you're setting such a good example for your friends.
Also, just keep trying and keep doing it. See if they'll listen. If not, just do it.
Yeah.
So Riley, potato. She's so funny. So Riley, what have you noticed, like any benefits with how you feel on keto? Like anything that, like, how does it help you with any sports that you play?
Oh yeah, swim. I'm really good at swimming. I just got my first ribbon for second place.
Congrats.
And it's really been really fun doing it.
What about your times? Have those improved since you've started keto?
Actually, yeah, they've really improved. My freestyle, my backstroke, I went down like 9 seconds.
Wow. Yeah.
And my freestyle, like 6 seconds. So I think that was really good.
Mm-hmm. And you just keep getting better, huh?
Mm-hmm. And I love swimming. It's one of my, really fun, especially since we live in Florida.
That's great.
So I have a question about, because here's one of the things we want other kids to hear what you're saying, because, you're their age, so they're not going to listen to us as much as they listen to you. And so you're extremely strong because you're always offered. At this point, they don't offer you anymore because they know. But, they try to reward all the kids with candy. And, how was that at first? And, what is it that they're giving you instead? And how do you handle that? Like when they want to reward you?
It was hard at first when everybody was getting candy because the fall festival was right around the corner. And when you at school at fall festival, and we went, and then we walked around, everybody was getting candy. I'm like, no, thank you, no, thank you. It is hard because it's like, I want a candy, but I didn't eat one. It's just hard because everybody else is like shoving candy in their mouth. So it is sometimes hard.
It is hard. It's even hard for me sometimes when I'm around it. Yeah. So that's why it's so good to have like friends that do the same things, and you can have dinner parties where, and you can still make keto fun though, right? Like, so what are some of your favorite keto foods that mom makes you?
Of course you can.
Well, the ice cream that mommy makes that's keto, it's like the best.
The Carrie Brown, I know. That's the good stuff.
It's so good. And then I also love any type of like seafood. Also, I like keto chocolate.
Keto chocolate.
So tell me about the seafood, because you're like the salmon queen, right? That's your thing. Yeah. So what do you eat when you go to like a restaurant?
Fried squid, which is I like fried squid, which is calamari. I like salmon, shrimp, scallops. I had lobster, and I kind of like it. Ahi tuna, alligator.
Ooh.
Wow, you'll try it all. I love it. I love kids that try it.
Yeah, I've never had mussels or crab because mommy's allergic.
Right.
I've never had.
Nobody needs to bust out an EpiPen.
Yeah. But I've never had like mussels, like fish mussels, or like some types of seafood. So I hope I can try them soon.
Awesome.
Oh, well, we'll do a fish fry at our house.
We'll do a fish fry.
A bunch of shellfish, Megan, like in a different room.
She could just bring all the EpiPens.
Jellyfish.
No, shellfish, not jellyfish.
She's like, I don't want jellyfish.
She's like, I don't want jellyfish either. So Megan, what about? So you transition Riley over, and what has been? Because what we want to share is like in the beginning, what were the challenges for you guys, and how did you address them? Because I think that's what's going to be the typical stuff. Picky eater. All they want to eat is sugar. How did you broach that subject with her, and how did you address that?
I think we've kind of always just been a little bit of a no nonsense family. So at least with the way that we raise Riley, like that first week was kind of, if you heard that shaking, that's Boomer.
That's okay.
That first week was a little bit rough. I mean, she was having some headaches, probably just from electrolytes, so we upped those. She had a little bit of a tummy ache during that first couple of weeks. And obviously being at school with all the other kids eating all the crap that they eat. She would come home kind of sad the first few weeks, like, oh, I wish we could have, the things that they have. And so we made it a point to make sure we were providing the things that she liked. I would make brownies and, the 90-second bread type of things, and pancakes and waffles. And just, because you never want your child to feel deprived. You never want them to feel different, just because that's, as we all know, like that's a breeding ground for disordered thinking. So I think for us, it was just so important to make sure that she felt as, quote unquote, normal as she could. So that was our biggest challenge, I think, at least the first month, just to make sure that, she was still her happy little self, that she wasn't struggling mentally with all of this, because I think that's, physically okay. Like physically you can force yourself to do anything, so long as you can wrap your head around it.
100%.
And I think it was easier because I think of who Riley is. She wants to understand everything. She wants to know why. And so we made it a point to explain everything, even if we had to explain it, a few times. This is why. This is what happens to your body. This is what will happen to your body if you continue to eat the things that other kids eat. This is the path that, that you could potentially set yourself on. Yeah. And, those are the things that we want to avoid. And this is why, her understanding the science behind it, I think, helped us tremendously.
Honestly, I think that's such a huge, for anyone, that you have to have those conversations. And what we said, like, for transitioning people, we say, it could be something as simple as talking to them about what you're doing, not even mentioning, yet, or even bringing it up as an option for them, unless they, obviously if they're so interested right off the bat that they want to join, that's cool. But, something that simple, like take yourself, for instance, you had PCOS, you struggled with health issues, and, you're telling her now, look, Riley, this is what we're doing, and this is why. And, I just want you to know that this is what we're doing now. And then, you start to have those conversations, and like Riley and Desmond at this point can educate people on the diet, and that is, is powerful. It's powerful. So, that's a beautiful thing. And nowadays I'm assuming, it's pretty seamless at this point. Like, no matter where you guys are, you're pretty much,
it's just, that's just how you guys eat, which, by the way, we haven't mentioned it, but Riley, how old are you?
I am 8 years old. Also, at school, I'm an AGP.
What's AGP?
What's AGP?
What is that?
Very gifted learning.
Oh yeah,
Gifted.
she's like Matilda. I
call her
always
Matilda.
say she's like Matilda.
so cute.
Definitely, she can consume like several books in like an hour.
Yes, she's a bookworm. So Riley's 8 years old, and so that just goes to show you it's just so powerful, and it's so important to model the behavior. You know, you don't have to try to get everyone on board at the same time. I feel like it's so important for us as parents to just take that responsibility first and do it, you know, and not just do what I say, you know, like, no, let me model this behavior, let me fix myself, and then just explain to you what I'm doing, and they'll follow. You know, they're going to become interested. They're going to want to know what's going on, and you do it as a family, just better that way.
Yeah, and I think, like we kind of touched on earlier about, you know, what Riley said, that it was her choice.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I think that, and it's still her choice. Every day it's her choice. Like, she can go to school and she has money in an account at school. And if she wanted to buy popsicles or pizza, she could. That's her choice. But she knows and she understands why we eat the way that we eat. So she chooses not to. And she can go to a birthday party and eat a cupcake, but she chooses not to. And they have popsicles at school all the time. And she's just like, no, no, thank you. And her teachers know. Her teachers understand. And so her teacher will contact me. You know, we're having XYZ, hot chocolate or something to celebrate whatever at school.
And they do that
this
often,
day.
don't they? They do that often, don't they? The celebrations.
Oh, yeah. Can you please bring something else for Riley? And I think that's a key thing too, is communicating with the people that are in your children's lives, making sure that everybody understands, you know, what they're eating now and the why. Because the last thing that we need is somebody sabotaging your child when they're trying to make better choices for themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's a perfect segue into the next question. So I want to know, because for us, you know, it was simple. It got to a point where we said, hey, you're not going to see your grandkid. You know, so how was that with the family? How did everybody initially react, and how is everyone now?
I think the first few weeks it was all why, you know, for Riley, because, you know, she's never been a kid that struggled with weight. She's always been very active, and she swims 3 days a week for an hour. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. She's a very active child. She always has been. So she's never, you know, it's never been like Riley needs to lose weight.
Right.
You know,
right.
Like that's never been a thing. So it was why? She's fine. Well, of course she's fine, but we want her to continue to be fine.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
We want to lay the groundwork now while she's still young, so that
I won't have any problems. Like, I'll be fine. And I won't get sick. Also,
Yeah.
I haven't got sick in like a year. I've had like one cold
Yeah, man.
in like a year. So I'm like, let's keep this up. I don't have to miss school, or I don't have to get sick.
And would you get sick more before Riley, like before keto? Have you noticed? Is that something that you've noticed, that you don't really get sick anymore?
So many colds. I got like so many colds.
She was sick like every 2 weeks.
Wow.
You know, some kind of new germ, something,
Yeah.
some kind of cold. And yeah, like she said, there hasn't been a real cold. I mean, she'll have the sniffles, but then in like 48 hours,
Yeah,
it's
they
gone.
fight it so fast. I've noticed that too
Yeah.
with ours. Like, they don't get sick, and if they do, it's like something's almost coming on, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's also so powerful that you said that, because it's not always about weight or how we look. Just because someone appears to be healthy on the outside doesn't mean that they are healthy on the inside. And so we have to view the health as just like a whole body sense of like well-being. You know, how much do you get sick? Do you have allergies that you struggle with, or like eczema? A lot of people express their
genetic
right, or
issues,
quote unquote
'cause it's
genetic
always
issues.
genetics.
And yeah, it could be, but here's the thing, we act like we have no control over these things when we do in fact over a lot of them. You know what I mean? And there's So,
Right.
so yeah, that's just so important because, you know, look at that. Like she doesn't even get sick anymore. And that's something that it just gets in the way of your life, you know, like getting sick. Like now when something's coming on, I'm like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
I'm never sick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and especially being in public school, like you have kids that, you know, there's germs
Everywhere.
literally
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. There's no escaping them. But the fact that we've gone over a year now without any real anything,
Yeah.
that's
That
huge
is huge.
Of course.
for the type of environment that she is exposed to.
Well, I mean, because like, you know, we think it's funny because people say, well, there's something going around, you know, and it's like there's always something going around. And, you know, with your gut health being just the best it's ever been, you're allowing your immune system to really do the work it's supposed to do. So you're not compromising your immune system.
Right.
I just got an idea and I wanted to tell Riley, imagine you have a loudspeaker and this podcast is being broadcast all over the world, which by the way, it is. It is. We got people in Australia that are going to be listening to you. We got people in all over Europe, everywhere. So what would you say to all of these kids about, you know, kind of what, you know, your decision to change your diet and what would be the tips that you could give them? Anything you can think of.
Well, one tip is like to try your best from like eating, like getting pulled into it. You have to try to not crave stuff. And on your first week, get lots of electrolytes if you're starting to have a headache.
Very important.
And also, even if you don't want to do it, just try to eat more healthy foods. And then
Healthy like what?
yeah, like more meats, more like healthy, like really healthy veggies, like some veggies, then like more meat.
Oh, this is so. This is going into my ears for sure.
This is taking me to my next
And
question.
if you're not like fully keto, you can have like treats here and there that.
If you're not keto?
Well, you can. Is sometimes your mom can bake things with like low sugar or substitute sugar.
Right.
And you can have them like not that often, but sometimes for like treats. And just like if you want to be keto, you can go ahead and do it. Just you gotta know how and learn how to control yourself from craving.
Yeah, and even if you do have those cravings, I think people think that. Because I've noticed, like, looking at random, like, YouTube videos where these popular people are like, I tried keto for a week. See what happened. Well, first of all, you shouldn't try for a week. But they show you what they're eating, and it's, like, very rigid. A lot of times it's even low fat. Like, it's, like, chicken and vegetables.
And low calorie,
right, like, it's, like, chicken and vegetables. So I think that people don't really understand sometimes that keto can also be fun. Like, there's so many foods. And I know one of the things we did with the kids when we were first trying to transition them and they wanted to start is making them their favorite foods but keto versions. So fathead pizza, and now we have Real Good pizza, which is a great option so you don't have to make it. And you know, Carrie Brown ice cream, there you can pretty much keto-fy anything. So I think that having those options is also really important. You know, people think that it's not fun, but it really can be fun.
Yeah, of course. Now, like the other side of that is, you know, I think that we all have to look at it. You know, even a child. I mean, life is not about, you know, pizza and brownies. You know, no diet is going to be based off of that. But you know, just like any other diet, you know, we can have pizza once a week, twice a week. You know, we can have, you know, the occasional treats, and they're delicious and they work well, you know. What about you, Megan? What would you say to the parents that, you know, are considering making this move and bringing, especially the ones that, you know, they realize that, wait a second, I don't eat any packaged food, I've lost all this weight, I've done well, and then I'm sending my kids off to school with all this stuff. What would you say to them?
I see all the time parents, oh gosh, you know, well, kids need carbs. Man, like, just be quiet.
Oh my gosh, that takes me back.
That's
good.
so good.
No, they don't. Like, oh, it makes me want to ram my head into a wall. And I mean, not that I was any different, you know, before I knew better. But I feel like when you know better, do better. That's my biggest thing. When you know better, you do better. And if you know that this is what's working for your health and your body, then why would you ever not allow your children that same opportunity?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It blows my mind. And I just, people are so scared. And I think if you can just step outside of that fear and allow yourself to take a chance for the well-being of your child and, you know, let go of your pride, admit that you probably have made some mistakes along the way and just try.
Try it on like a jacket.
Because, man, what do you have to lose?
Yeah.
Put on your meat jacket and just do it.
And what about so ever since it's been a little bit over, it's been about a year. And what about Riley's, surely her growth is stunted and she's underweight and she's, right? I mean.
And her brain doesn't work because she doesn't have glucose. Poor thing.
They're lying.
So last year, like towards the end of first grade, her teacher was like, man, Riley's falling all over the place. She's really clumsy. Maybe you should get her evaluated. And I'm like, oh, shoot, like maybe we should get her evaluated. So we take her to the doctor. And as it turns out, she had grown almost 2 inches in 6 months.
It is insane.
And so her doctor was like, basically what it boils down to is she's kind of like a baby giraffe. Like she's not really grown into her legs yet.
Yes, it happens with Desmond too.
Yeah.
That's so funny you say that.
She's kind of just stumbling all over the place. I'm like, oh, you poor thing. Like, but I mean, she's almost 51 inches. And I mean, her weight has stayed the exact same for the last year.
Yeah, because she's basically
she's just packing on muscle.
Yeah, she's just like putting on muscle and just growing.
You can feel my muscle on my calves and my arm. It's like so big when I flex.
But I mean, yeah, she's clearly thriving. You know, she's smart as a whip. She loves to learn. And I mean, I think she wouldn't have gotten to where she is without changing the way that she ate.
Yeah, definitely love to learn. Definitely love to learn.
So cute. Yeah, I love that you said that. We noticed that too. Like our boys, like within the first 6 months of keto, they both grew significantly. It was like
and put on muscle
and put on weight for them. Yeah. So losing my train of thought, but I think I'm getting it back now. So I wanted to ask you, Megan, real quick, just because keto, when you first started keto, how is that different from like what you're kind of eating now? Like, what do you eat now?
So now I am mainly like I would say keto carnivore, not like hardcore carnivore people that are like meat and
salt,
water.
right?
I'm like, I can't get on that thing. Yeah,
I need my eggs. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll do mostly grass-fed beef, pork, chicken, eggs. I don't do dairy really anymore, with the exception of butter, just because of my PCOS. Like it does not agree with my hormones.
What did you? Because I know we were talking about this when we were at Disney. What did you just cut it out for a month and then realize, dang it, I feel better?
Oh man, no, it wasn't even a feeling for me. It was because my acne.
Oh yeah, that's what you told me. Yeah. Because you had something. What was
like a 33-year-old.
You had heavy cream
adult.
with your coffee or something. You're like, that's gonna give me a pimple.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was already accepting that compliment. So, but yeah, I mean, I went when we first started keto, I didn't have as much dairy, but then all of a sudden I was like, mo cheese, mo better. So it got a little out of control there for a few months, and I was breaking out like crazy, my face. And then I got this crazy little patch between my eyebrows, almost like a eczema.
Oh, yeah.
Which I've never had in my life ever. And I was like, this is just like, it was getting worse. And I'm like, this is, something's got to give. This is crazy. Everybody's talking about, their face acne cleared up. Oh, everything's all better. And I'm like, not for me. So I cut out dairy, and within 2 weeks, that patch was gone. And my face improved significantly. And I mean, I can tell anytime I have any kind of dairy, within like a couple of days, my face is like, shouldn't have done it.
Oh, man.
I know, but that's the same thing. Like Maura and I go through that. I mean, more Maura than anything, because if she eats something that's not meat, she knows, and she feels like crap for days. So,
yeah.
But I mean, also heavy cream. So, what are you going to do? It's freaking heavy cream. It's cheese. It's delicious. So every now and then, whatever.
I know.
I wanted to ask Riley, because we kind of touched on it, because she talked about like, what she opens up her, wherever she keeps her lunch, and she's talking about that. But give us 2 or 3 examples, Riley, of your typical lunches that you eat at school.
Because that's a struggle for a lot of moms.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, what do you guys give your kids for lunch? And it's harder for us because we homeschool, so we have a little bit more freedom to do that. With you guys, you gotta pack something. So what does that look like?
Mine is like a sandwich with cauliflower bread thins.
Oh, yeah, the kids love that.
Sometimes those little grain-free chips, avocado.
Ooh.
Lots of avocado.
Yeah, cream cheese, berries, sometimes bacon, yes, bacon, and then hard-boiled eggs. Like lots of stuff that's like keto. Sometimes if we have leftover frosting, Mommy will give me the leftover frosting and like just a little.
That's yummy.
And I just eat it.
Well,
I don't blame you. I would eat the frosting as well.
All right,
and it's so.
I want to ask each of them one more question. I think this is gonna be a thing. We talked about this before, Maura and I. What is, both of you, your number one meal? If you could eat it every single day for the rest of your life, what would that meal be? Let's start with the youngest, Riley. What would your favorite number one meal?
Well, I have basically 2.
Okay, yeah,
go ahead. You can have
two's
2.
good.
Okay, 3 actually. No, 2, 3. Okay, if I could eat it every day, one is keto, other one is 2 other not.
No, we're not doing not keto.
Okay. I would eat keto pizza every day.
Fathead or
Any
fathead pizza?
Or the real good
Oh,
pizza.
okay, yeah.
Like the ones that we have in the...
both. I don't care which one.
Either
It's
or.
just I need the cheese.
And then I would eat keto ice cream and
That's
just
not a meal.
What's
Okay.
the flavor that she likes?
Okay,
What's your
wait,
favorite Carrie Brown ice cream?
What does Riley eat when she goes to restaurants? Because that's my
Oh,
favorite.
Oh, yeah. So what do you order when we go to restaurants?
usually fish and a Caesar salad. Sometimes I get like it's really, there's like this thing. It's a restaurant called The Local, and they have this like really juicy like grouper or something, and it's like so good.
That sounds amazing.
And then it comes with this like lime juice cilantro tartar sauce, and I like love it so much. I just love seafood in general.
Is the local in Tampa or Brandon?
It's in Tampa. It's off Henderson, I think.
Oh, and my favorite flavor of ice cream, I like
Carrie Brown.
I love the one where Mommy makes the peanut butter balls.
Oh my gosh,
Those
that's
are the
amazing.
bomb.
That's got to be a special occasion though, right? Because
we're gonna link that
recipe.
recipe. Oh no, because that's in the book. You gotta buy the book. I'll link
Gotta
the
buy
book.
the Carrie Brown cookbook. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to say, I also like the Carrie Brown pumpkin pie and mint chocolate truffles.
Ooh. Oh, I haven't made those mint chocolate ones. That's really.
They are so good. And we shape them in like the little silicone mold so they look so cute.
Oh, I'm gonna do that maybe for the holidays for this year, because I always look at that recipe in the cookbook, but then I always make that or the tart right? I always either do the
Yeah.
pecan tart or the pumpkin
pecan
pie.
tart, and
You like
cut
the
it into
pumpkin
little
pie.
squares.
I would just use the crust. I don't really like pecan, so I would just do like we could just use the crust and like the frosting or the filling and put fruit on top.
Sounds
That
amazing.
What about Megan?
Wait, can I have two as well?
Yeah, for sure.
Of course.
I haven't eaten all day, by the way, and it's
He's getting-
3:46.
He's about to like eat through the wall.
Yeah, like now I'm like, okay.
Making you hungry.
Yeah, for sure.
So probably, wait, are we talking like restaurant or home?
I mean,
Well, you have two, girl.
yeah. You gotta think about like what you love the most. So it could be either one. It could be so and so's.
So probably
whatever.
Council Oak.
Oh, that bacon.
That
bacon.
their 8-ounce fillet is like
Mm.
the most perfect piece of meat on the planet. With that chive butter, yeah, and
Oh, the
that-
chive butter.
The goat cheese one, right? It's like
Yeah.
goat or something.
and the bacon, the Council Oak
Oh,
bacon.
the bacon. The Council Oak bacon.
That is the best
If
meal
anyone's
ever.
ever in Tampa, and you find yourself at the Hard Rock Casino, go ahead and
Do
go
yourself a
inside
favor.
of Council Oak and order yourself an order of their bacon. It's like thick pork. It's like pork belly.
But it's
Yeah.
also like bacon.
It
Does
is,
it
it's
taste like
bacon.
bacon? Because pork belly sometimes doesn't taste like bacon. Like that tastes like bacon. So it's
Yes,
so good.
it does.
It's literally the best.
Okay, so that was one.
All right, what's your other meal?
Yeah, and then probably, honestly, this is like really weird, but I've been eating it a lot lately. But just like some pulled chicken with chopped up dill pickles and hot sauce.
Yum.
That sounds great.
That sounds like my dream.
Actually,
And
what I
it's-
would do with that is I would add some cream cheese to that, just
Yeah.
to make it a sloppy
Or like some Sir
creamy.
Kensington mayo.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
Some
actually,
mayo.
yeah, that's what I did that last night. A little bit of mayonnaise. I've also done the garlic, the primal garlic aioli.
Oh, the garlic
Oh,
aioli.
the
That is
primal
the
garlic.
bomb.
And let's just, everyone in this conversation, for the listeners, we're talking about, we are talking about avocado mayo or, we're not talking about vegetable oil mayo. No one here is a fan of that. So we don't want the typical.
They're going to be like,
mayo.
I'm going to go eat some.
Yeah.
helmet.
Make sure
No
you get the
helmets for
garlic.
you.
No helmets.
I'm sorry. I understand the sadness because it's delicious. It is.
Yeah,
But-
we get it, but also it's poison, so there's that.
But it's also super poison.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Sir Kensington, actually, their mayo is really good.
Their avocado
super
mayo
picky.
is better than Primal Kitchen. There, I said it.
It's really good.
It's really good.
But that Primal Kitchen garlic aioli
The garlic aioli is
the bomb.com.
different level.
It's
Sure.
real good.
It's yummy.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, where can we find you if someone is like, I need to know more about Magean and Riley? Where can they find you? Is there some page they can follow you at?
So we have Adam and I travel all the time. So we have a Instagram directly relating to like our travels and eating while we are traveling. So that's at Wandering Keto. And then I have just my regular Instagram, which has Riley on it all the time. And that is just at Magean Marie.
Oh, and by the
Awesome.
way, what I look like,
What do you look like?
I have brown hair.
Mhm.
It goes like
Oh,
down
yeah.
to my shoulders. I don't have any bangs. I wear skirts a
And
lot.
I'm chewy up.
I wear skirts a lot, and I have brown eyes.
Mhm.
I'm
And you're
tall.
so tan.
And she's
She's got the best tan ever. It's all that swimming.
Which is like makes me so jealous every day because I'm a ghost.
And by the way, if you definitely follow Wandering Keto and tag #Wandering Keto whenever you're out and you find an awesome, because we know if you're keto, you know the struggle. It's hard sometimes. Like not every restaurant wants to cater to you. And so when you do find one, you got a hashtag so that way we can find these awesome keto friendly gems.
Yeah, and then
While we're out and about.
Megan can post it to Wandering Keto so she can have that the one-stop shop, the clearinghouse for
Yeah.
all places around the world. That's what I think. It's a great
Yeah, 100%.
service and a great idea.
Yeah, love it.
Well, thank you guys so much. We appreciate your time. We love you. You know that. And I cannot wait for everybody to hear how not hard it is and how, oh yeah, this is real. People are doing
normal people.
Yeah,
I can do this.
Yeah.
We're just normal people trying to do it.
Yeah,
do the
man.
thing.
Just trying to live our best lives over here.
Yep.
So,
Live a good life. Live a good life.
but thank
you guys have.
for having us, man. You know we love you. So we're really excited to be a part of this, a part of the journey. And we're so excited for you guys for seeing this, taking off the way it is. And we're just so proud of you.
Yeah, and definitely, I'm
we love you guys.
really excited too. And I'm really glad that I'm keto now. And the food is definitely delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes it easier that it's delicious, right? It's not
Right?
like just, eat this.
No
asparagus.
struggles.
No struggles. Yeah. Awesome.
Well, thank you guys so much. Everyone, check out the show notes for Wandering Keto as well as the interesting spelling for Megan because it's not Megan.
No.
Megan.
Yeah,
It's
so we'll
Megan.
put all of that in the show notes. And until next week, see you guys later.
You got you got emotion. You got